Hello everyone. After a return to Hoenn, we're going back to the series on the gym leaders of Johto with our second contender for the title of Champion Misty. For those unfamiliar with the concept, we try to beat the Pokemon League in Pokemon Gold and Silver using Misty's team from the games to see her strength and analyze whether or not she could have claimed the title of League Champion. Misty is another one of Ash's companions in the anime, but in the games, she has a different personality, and notably, she has a pretty decent team. Unfortunately, she only has 4 Pokemon. Here's her lineup. Golduck is her usual lead, meaning it's the first Pokemon she sends out, and to maintain authenticity, we'll do the same and start every battle with Psyduck's evolution. Honestly, it seems like an interesting Pokemon to use, with its Stab, same type attack bonus, Surf and Psychic to handle various threats. Next up is Quagsire, who, despite its goofy look, provides the team with an electric immunity and has some strong stab moves as well. The third Pokemon is Lapras, a personal favorite of mine, partly because it also has 2 stab moves, but also because Perish Song is a versatile move that can be a lifesaver if the opponent's last Pokemon is tough to beat. Finally, her signature Pokemon is Starmie, which was quite powerful in the early generations, being Water and Psychic type. It's a shame it doesn't have Psychic, but Ice Beam will do the job. Recover will also help stall out some overly aggressive Pokemon, with the support of Confuse Ray, of course. Alright, the team is set, and we can go visit Will and his Psychic Pokemon. We start with a matchup between Golduck and Xatu, but we'll switch to Lapras to take down the Wise Bird. Despite taking a critical hit, we manage to withstand a second one, and luckily land our Blizzard, which takes down Xatu in 1 hit. Will then sends out Jinx, which bombards us with Psychic. This is where Starmie comes in handy, as it resists the attack. With a combination of Confuse Ray and Surf, we bring Jinx to low health, making it easy to finish off. Next up is Exeggutor, a grass type, but we have Ice Beam, which takes it out in 1 hit. The same goes for the second Xatu, which falls to Starmie's high special attack and is sent back to its Pokeball. Slowbro is Will's final Pokemon, and we start by confusing it before realizing with horror that it's boosting its stats and might become unstoppable if we let it. It's time to bring in Lapras, who delivers a Requiem like Mozart. Lapras feints to Slowbro's attacks, but with 3 turns left, Golduck copies Slowbro's boosts just in case. Another victory for Misty, who can now continue her journey in the Pokemon League by facing her former colleague, Koga. Koga starts with Ariados, who is mediocre at best, but the Spider tends to use Double Team, making the battle more challenging as our first Psychic hits hard, but we miss the following attacks, allowing it to heal a bit. Fortunately, we land another hit. The next Pokemon is Venomoth, but unfortunately it's faster and takes us out before we can use Psychic. We then send out our star player Starmie, who takes down the bug with Ice Beam. Forretress is next, and we keep using Ice Beam while confusing it to avoid an explosion. Eventually, an Ice Beam freezes it, allowing us to secure a victory. Next up is Crobat, who's faster and evasive, but our Ice Beam lands, putting it in the red. Koga heals his Pokemon, making us start over, and with its Double Team, Crobat becomes a real pain, poisoning us in the process. Disappointed but not surprised, we finish off Koga's Crobat and face Muck. We switch out Starmie for Quagsire, who can handle Muck with Earthquake, sending Koga to the Shadow Realm. Well, not quite, but we secure another victory and move on to Bruno. Bruno opens with Hitmontop, who uses Dig, but we're faster and land a solid Psychic, making it tremble but not fall. It retaliates with its ground move, but we finish it off and Hitmonchan comes out. Psychic deals significant damage again, but we receive a Thunder Punch. The next Pokemon is the third member of the trio, and we deal with it in the same way, but it's faster, and High Jump Kick sends us off the field. Time to send out our Sprinkler System, aka Starmie, who uses Surf to take down the Kickboxer. Onix is next, and 1 Surf takes it out. The final Pokemon is Machamp, and we confuse it to make it hurt itself with its high attack. It uses Rock Slide, but we respond with Surf, which it resists. Another Rock Slide convinces us to heal, but victory is only a matter of time, and soon we wash away the fighter, defeating Bruno. We heal up before facing Karen. The battle starts with Umbreon, and honestly, its playstyle is unsettling. We switch to Lapras to settle things with Perish Song, and despite 2 sand attacks, it sings. 3 more turns to endure Umbreon, unless Karen switches it out. We bring in Quagsire to celebrate, setting up with Amnesia and Rain Dance, but Umbreon is recalled for Vileplume. We get greedy and try to surprise it with Earthquake. Our special defense boost isn't enough, and we fall to Vileplume's Petal Dance. The wrath of the Mushroom Plant is unleashed, and we call in Golduck. Unfortunately, it only has 1 Psychic PP left, so it won't be a 2-hit KO, as Surf can't finish Vileplume. Our second Pokemon falls while Karen still has her whole team. Ouch. We eventually deal with the grass Pokemon, and Umbreon returns to the field. We try to play its game with Confuse Ray, but it fails, so we recall Lapras. The Pokemon uses Surf, dealing decent damage, and we just need another one. But Umbreon's tactics, including Confusion and Sand Attack, make things tricky. When our second attack lands, it doesn't finish Umbreon. We retreat again, letting Starmie take over. Despite taking a feint attack, it finally removes Umbreon from the league. Murkrow is next, and we can relax a bit as our Ice Beam one-shots it. Gengar is next, but it likes to sacrifice itself with Hearse. We finish it off with Surf, and since we need to KO Houndoom in 1 one hit to avoid losing HP, we use Surf again to win. What a battle. The Elite Four members who rely on luck are the worst. And yes, we're looking at you, Agatha. But we now have access to the final room, usually occupied by the league champion Lance. Can Misty challenge the Dragon Master who flies and breathes fire? The opening is always against Gyarados, which isn't a bad matchup for our team. But Golduck and Gyarados mostly exchange pleasantries at the start, as Psychic isn't very effective, and Gyarados' Surf barely scratches our Pokemon. The first to realize this is the opponent, who then uses Hyper Beam on our Pokemon, which doesn't take it well. Since we're slower, Gyarados lands a second one, knocking out Golduck. Starmie steps in, and its Ice Beam sets things straight before Lance sends out his first Dragonite. Huge mistake, as our Ice Beam one-shots it. He then sends out the same Pokemon again, and we deal with it similarly. Finally, a Dragonite 3 levels higher, Ice Beam also one-shots it. Now there are 2 Flying-type Pokemon left, weak to water attacks, Misty's specialty. So, 1 Surf for Charizard, and 1 Surf for Aerodactyl, and Misty joins the Hall of Fame. A well-deserved victory, mainly thanks to Starmie. But can Misty push her luck all the way to Johto, to a mountain east of the region, where a rather taciturn trainer is training? Let's see if Misty can measure up to Red, 3 years after the events of Pokemon Red and Blue. The battle starts with Golduck against Pikachu, and the only sensible move is to switch to our electric immunity, the brave Quagsire. We can then hit it with Earthquakes, and if Red uses heals on this Pokemon, it's all the better for us. Naturally, Red's next Pokemon is a Grass type, and Venusaur takes over. It uses Solar Beam, which takes 2 turns, allowing us to use Earthquake, which doesn't do much damage. Worse, if we foolishly summon Rain, the opponent will just use Giga Drain, recovering HP. Unsurprisingly, Quagsire falls to the strongest grass move in the game, and we send out Starmie to try confusing the opponent. It fails, and the Starfish gets one shot. Same story for Golduck and Lapras. Yes, the challenge ends here for our Water-type expert, because Red not only has a higher level Venusaur than all her Pokemon, but even if there was a chance to beat it, Espeon or the Gen 2 King Snorlax would finish the job. I hope you enjoyed this challenge. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. I love reading them and participating in the little debates that arise. Anyway, I invite you to subscribe, as only 10% of the viewers watching my channel are subscribed, and it helps smaller channels. See you soon. Ciao.